morning. Okay, so we have a ton of snow, and yesterday I put the cage in the door so they could watch the snow. They loved it. Anyway, been chatting with ChatGPT this morning about these two because, I've had a theory. I try not to talk to ChatGPT that much because I don't want to become a clone drone like everyone in the world. Anyway, but I do want to keep my hand on it, and I do use it for my personal, like my professional uses. But anyway, it's not my friend or any freaking thing like that. But anyway, so my theory is, this is the mother hen conure. This is the baby, and that she's adopted in. And the reason why is because I remember seeing them in Petco. Look, he likes me. He likes to be talked about. That's cute. That's a signal. Anyway, I saw them in Petco like last Christmas. I couldn't afford to get them, but I remember specifically thinking he was so calm and down on the bottom of the cage, and she was up top in her own cage and just pacing back and forth and just squawking at me and wanting to interact with me. And he just sat there on the bottom floor. And I remember thinking, he's sick. I would not get him because he's sick, But that's not what was happening in hindsight, because, later down the road, the person who bought him didn't want him, And at Petco, I remember they won't sell you. They try to sell you two at a time, which is great, a great practice, in fact. But anyway, so they probably sold him both conures, because I met him. He was in a Tesla. This guy made really good money. He was, when he gave them to me. He listed them for $800, and I was like, I don't have $800. He had $8 on the ad, so I responded. He's like, $800. I'm like, no way. Anyway, so long story short, a couple weeks past, he texts me and says, do you want these guys? I don't have time for them. I'm like, absolutely, I'm coming to get them. And so anyway, I met him in the parking lot. He brought them to me in the contraption. You saw Talon had his finger hung, like his talon stuck to the tape that he had it wrapped in this weird, I don't know, the guy was freaky. Anyway, long story short, my theory is she has adopted him since, and they've bonded. And I was researching this morning about how, she had a posture going that was kind of interesting. They do it all the time, and I've never thought it to be sexual or hormonal ever, because I've had this working theory that they're adopted baby. And I was just talking to ChatGPT about it a second ago, and that is a thing. And, I've sent it a lot of but I sent it a specific picture and then did a lot of describing of the situation. And it's like, oh yeah, spot on. This is a hen that has adopted a baby. And I'm just like, yuck, Petco for selling little babies to people and they don't even know it. This guy didn't know anything about these birds. Wait, I'm not going to shame Petco. That's wrong. And it may have been PetSmart. So let's erase all of that. Oh, I don't know how to edit it, and I probably can't afford the freaking editing software anyway. Anyway, I do like them. That's fine. I'm not one of these people that just freaks out about everything. Everything's not black and white, people. But anyway, I digress. This is a little adoptive hen, and this is an adopted, what do you call, hatchling? And we have made great strides, in chatting with ChatGPT this morning. So, he's super relaxed. See that eye getting relaxed right there? He's really like bonding with me through her in his own way. And see that scratch? She loves me too. So we are all good. Like, from what I'm researching, I've been pretty intuitively correct with these guys, and that they're pretty much right on track in the taming process with this hands-off approach I'm using. Except for her, I just have to grab her up and just kiss her all the time, like every single morning. She doesn't care though. She goes right back she bounces right back. I mean, she even will chase me after I put her back up. It's not scarring her. I have scarred birds because I held them too much, so I know the difference. Anyway, this is a process, people. But see how his little popping his little head out? The way ChatGPT described it is like, the way this bird's behavior is, he stands behind the parent. And, she gets lower than him a lot, which threw me off because I'm like, is she trying to mate? And no, it's a posture giving him more space. It's a social cue letting him know that I'm safe to be around. So she gets lower to indicate to him, you know, there's no fight for space because we're unsafe, that I want more space and I'm gonna, hoard you out. If I was real danger, she would hide behind him, in fact. But, this is just social dynamics on display right here, where ChatGPT described it as like he's tiptoeing behind his adult while the two adults are having a conversation. And I think that's precious because that's literally, that's our interaction completely, 100%. I'm literally training him through her. I'll go to him after she's become accustomed to an interaction. Then I'll begin to try it with him, like the booping on the beaks, She went through that training first, and it was easy to boop his nose following that because he watched her training and expected, treats and outcomes, positive outcomes associated with it. So she's giving him space right now. In fact, she's lowering her head, and, he's calm and chill. Man, he's come so far, man. He used to stand straight up all the time, straight as an arrow, never eat. I'm just so proud of him. I'm so excited. I'm so glad God brought me these birds, these parrots, these little angels. That's what they are. They're little angels, little guardian angels. All right, that was a really long, super long post. It's a snow day. Peace.